Hi, my friends, it's your tour guide to the sci-fi side, me, Preston E. And the E stands for energetic. And I am energetic, excited, and delighted to be bringing to you, fine folks, today, Mystery Science Theater 3000, Volume 4. Let's take a look at what we got on this bad boy. We have got Space Mutiny. We have got Overdrawn at the Memory Bank. We have got Girl in Gold Boots, and we have got Hamlet. That's right, they're all from the sci-fi era. They're all from the Mike J. Nelson era of the sci-fi era, and I am delighted to bring them all to you. We're going to rate each and every single one of these bad boys on an SOL bone scale of 1 through 5. 1 being poor, 2 being fair, 3 being good, 4 being great, and 5 being excellent. Then we're going to give it an overall rating in this collection of a 1 through 20 possible SOL bones. So without further ado, my family, my friends, my lovers, I give you Mystery Science Theater 3000 Volume 4. Woo! Whew, I gotta breathe. First up, we have an absolute favorite of mine and an absolute favorite of many Misties called Space Mutiny from Season 8. And what's not to love about this movie and the rapid-fire riffs? You have a living, breathing slab of super action hero man meat if ever there were one, named David Ryder, played by Reb Brown, who made some guest spot appearances in 70s sitcoms like Happy Days and Three's Company. Reb Brown's Dave Ryder is tasked with bringing down a spaceship of mutineers. You have the psychotic, hungry for deaf eyes main villain, Calgon, who looks like he's trying to force a skull to pop out of his own head, and the flamboyant sidekick, who dressed up like a lobster, I must say, and David Ryder's main squeeze, who looks like a cross between Debbie Reynolds and Sherry Lewis, and boy, can she hula hoop well for a senior citizen. Her dad looks like Santa Claus, and Santa doesn't have any icky elves assisting him in this movie. He has Sting. Oi! If the Santa Claus jokes and Sting jokes aplenty don't slay you, Dave Ryder's high-pitched Brock Lesnar-esque screams will.
Well, anyway, got that out of my system. Roll fizzle beef.
There is an absolutely hysterical chase with Reb Brown and the villainous Calgon on what looks like buffing machines, and perhaps the best riff in the movie involves Mike and the Bot's many names for our hero, Dave Ryder.
Bridge, large meat. Punt, speed chunk. Butch, deadlift.
This is a movie I'd show to anyone to get them hooked on MST3K. It's definitely a top 10 episode for me, just like it is for a lot of fans, with laughs from start to finish for a 5 out of 5 SOL bones. Next up, we have Overdrawn at the Memory Bank, also from Season 8. If for no other reason, this movie is worth a look for Raul Julia, who plays Aram Fingal, who is obsessed with classic cinema, especially Casablanca. You get a hysterically sweaty villain called the Fat Man, who's pretty much a walking, talking cholesterol problem.
Fingal, draw me some butter.
When trying to not have a heart attack, the Fat Man and his cronies try to stop Aram Fingal from enjoying the joys of cinema and sharing them with his cinema-deprived co-workers. Aram Fingal is doppeled into the body of a monkey named Daisy for punishment for his love of cinemas and watching them at work. Apparently you don't get pink slips in this version of the future. Anyway, Aram joins the strangely named love interest of his named Apollonius Jane, he Aram, you Apollonius Jane, in taking down this corporate greed, but perhaps the biggest takeaway from this convoluted plot of this headache-inducing PBS movie is its infuriating anti-anteater agenda, which pops up a few times in the movie.
First time out.
That'd be real megabucks.
700.
I got 47 credits. What kind of a double do you think that buys?
An anteater? Maybe.
Whoa, huge slam on anteaters out of nowhere. Lee.
At least I'm not an anteater.
This movie just hates anteaters.
Unbelievable.
Taking care of the chairman. He's going on for a month's compulsory rehab.
You're putting it in Daisy.
Daisy's too good for the bastard. He's going on as an anteater.
Lay off the anteaters. Come on. Man.
I guess.
It's a very bizarre slam from out of left field. The movie is far from great, but the riffs and Raul's presence in it gives this one a 3 SOL bones out of 5. Now we have the Girl in Gold Boots from Season 10. Michelle is a waitress at a small diner who aspires to be a dancer. A Nicky Elf leather-clad dude named Buzz promises her he can hook her up with such a position in sunny California, where his sister works as a dancer at a club called the Haunted House. Buzz the Icky Elf takes Michelle away from her abusive slap-happy pappy, and along the way they meet up with a hairy guitar-strumming dude draft dodger named Critter. Critter falls for Michelle, who just wants to be a dancer, but not if the Icky Elf has anything to do with it.
Are you in California to play with the X-1? He's broken down on a motorcycle. Or are you here for a reason? Now you tell us. Tell us!
I'm allergic to shellfish.
I'm here to be a dancer!
Gonna go into voice work, too.
It is discovered that Buzz is into drug trafficking, and he and his criminal cronies are creamed by Critter, say that 5 times fast, and Critter takes Michelle and runs off with her on the beach, where they spend a life of love together, guitar strumming and harmonica butt blowing. We also get a beautiful rendition of a love song sung by Critter, which is beautifully covered by Mike J. Nelson later in the episode, giving this one a 4 SLO bones out of 5. Mike and the Bots beat the Mads in a game of Find the Lady, which means Mike gets to choose the movie they'll watch in this episode. He chooses Hamlet, but Pearl and Brain Guy deliver them a starchy, badly dubbed, made-for-German TV in the 60s version of Hamlet. But it is not to be, good or interesting. No Sir Olivier or Mel Gibson for you. This movie is dark, dank, and dreary, which some might mention fits the tragedy of Hamlet perfectly, but all it tends to do here is to be a slog and work like Zequel for the viewers. Now that's not to say that there isn't some bright spots. They are just few and far between, with the flamboyantly dressed Hamlet's ghostly dad, who makes fleeting appearances. You too will join Mike and the Bots and their frustrations as the cameraman seems to fall asleep at one point in this movie as he stays on Hamlet for a very long time and never cuts to his ghostly dad in one tortuously long scene. We also get a few funny singers such as this suggestion to spice up the movie from Crow.
This place could use a shrub, or hell, even a stick would cheer it up.
In the end, this is the classic tragedy of the bars, just with all the life and energy sucked out of it. It is an interesting novelty and change of pace in the usual sci-fi and horror fare that makes up the latter seasons of the original MST3K. It is worth a look if you can stay awake to see it. For me, it took multiple viewings and plenty of caffeine. Still, a lesser episode of MST3K is still better than a good day at work. Hamlet gets a 2 SLO bones out of 5. This Season 4 collection all encapsulate 4 Mike J. Nelson episodes from the sci-fi era. You get one of the most excellently riffed films in the fitfully funny sci-fi action flick called Space Mutiny, to the drab and dreary German sausage-flavored Hamlet, with a starring appearance from Raul Julia and Overdrawn at the Memory Bank, to Shake What Your Mama Gave You in the dance drama of Girl and Go Boots. This collection gets a 14 SOL bones out of 5. You'll also get Mike J. Nelson introducing each episode and some quick and quirky DVD extras. Well, that about does it for me. Please like, subscribe, and share. I've been Preston E. Garrison, and I'm out of here!